What looks super easy but is actually difficult is asterisk. Everyone and their mother thinks they have a novel inside them until they have to sit down and write it. Writing 90,000 words is hard enough. Writing 90,000 words where everything ties together. Harder still. Writing 90,000 words that other people want to read? Oof. Dancing. It looks so effortless and smooth when some people do it. You try to copy and end up channeling Elaine from Seinfeld. Anything that involves a board. Skateboard. Snowboard. Surfboard. Board meetings. Drawing something from memory. Like a bird or something. In mind. Yep, that's a bird on paper. That's a bird? Acting. I see it whenever a non-actor makes a cameo on a TV show. The basics of guitar. I'm somewhat of an intermediate player now. But even forming easy chords and strumming them is difficult at the very beginning. Some of the bosses in 2D video games like Hollow Knight or Cuphead. You look at a video and they look like something you do when you're bored. They're incredibly easy. But when you actually do it you will go through a hernia and a half trying to actually beat them. Keeping a tidy house as an adult. I hate to say it. But now I understand why my parents got so frustrated when I wouldn't contribute more to the housework. It's like an endless cycle of dishes. Cooking. Dusting and laundry. 1 star. Do not recommend. Quit smoking. How hard can it be to just not do something? Yet. Learning to laugh at yourself and be the joke. It can be tough, but there is nothing worse than someone who can tease others but not take it. Skateboarding. Jesus, I see all these tricks and I'll try them and eat. Playing a musical instrument. I have played piano, recorder and flute, and each time I get such a bad wake-up call. Marching band. I'm sure there are plenty of people who think it's easy. I used to be one of those people. It's not as easy as it looks. Here's why. While marching you have to keep track of your position on the field. How close, far you are from the others. Where you're headed. Added visuals. Making sure you're in tempo. Making sure you're marching in tempo. Remembering the music gets easier over time, keeping track of rests and when to move again. Your body position. When marching sideways you have to keep your waist and above facing towards the front. Step size. How many steps you have to your next position. Actually playing the instrument. Most people who are marching band are already on their 2 to 3 year playing. You aren't going to be a newbie and be able to play properly. Making sure your form from the waist down is correct marching style. And there are other things too, but that's all I can think of on the top of my head. Marching band is multitasking extreme. It's fun though. It just takes practice. Curling. The Olympics make it look as easy as shuffleboard. But I've tried it. I could barely get the rock into the house. And I fell over many times before that happened. And of course, when I was sweeping, I had no idea what to do. As someone who has spent 4+ years in this dog training, you think that getting a dog to sit or lie down is easy, but then once you try to get them to do it, something hasn't clicked with them about it. Plus when you get into it and do more complex training, you find out how hard it is for them to understand. I pretty much despise teaching a dog to sit pretty. Grammar. We all know about commas. But it's pretty complicated to use perfect grammar. I'd say cooking. Seems simplistic, but there are so many ways that you can it up. Playing the violin. I'm a violinist in a college symphony orchestra and have been playing for well over a decade. People occasionally come up to me and tell me that it can't be that difficult to play. Then I carefully hand them my instrument to fiddle around with. They're dumbfounded when they make horrendous sounds on it. And then they blame it on the multi-$1,000 instrument with a rich sound. Meditation. The exact amount of effort you use not to think is the amount of effort you expend on thinking. Resolution is to not grasp on thoughts nor reject them and let them arise if they do. Then they will calm down. It's like if you had an autofocus on a camera that focuses too close and too far until you gain an even focus. Eating something that tastes great but has an awful texture, you can put it in your mouth and chew and smile without looking disgusted. But on the inside you're fighting your gag reflex for dear life. Teaching. People think because they sat in a classroom for 12 to 16 years of their life, they are experts in how to teach. No. You're not. There's more to good instruction than talking at students for a while, even if that's what some lousy teachers do. Teachers are highly trained professionals. Please treat us as such. Running, jogging. You see people jog on the sidewalk in Greenway and it looks like it wouldn't be too bad. But then you try it and, oof. Archery. I've been shooting for a while now and I still miss. Wind as a. Swimming, treading water. Oh, it's just floating. What's so hard about that? Yeah, go ahead. Try that for an hour with implemented drills and being negatively buoyant. Cutting someone's hair. Stylists make it look so effortless. Tried trimming my husband's hair in lockdown. Did not go down smoothly. Literally. Riding a horse. Trust me on this one. Seriously. Not easy. Tilda sincerely. Every horseback rider on the planet. Handstands. Before lockdown I joined a circus school and for some reason started with handstands. The whole group find it hard even though most of them are solid lumps of muscle. I am 41 and 2 stone overweight. The instructor is so encouraging and they all celebrate my minor successes as much as their amazing efforts. He said you have a bit of a bulk versus strength issue but don't worry, we will work on that. Anything I'm not good at. Painting for example. Listening to someone's troubles. From the outside it always seems like sitting there and just listening. But it's way more than that. It's more than just listening. They want to be understood and want to be acknowledged. Bouldering. Went to a bouldering gym for the first time with the company as a sort of promo barbecue and we all received vouchers to try it. Looked easy as but realized I'm overweight. I have no upper body strength. My legs have barely any force in them. Had muscle and tendon pain for days after. Stand-up comedy. People think it comes naturally because talented comedians make it appear so effortlessly. However, it takes talent, timing and a lot of work to really make a set work. Riding horses. Don't get me started on all the "oh the horse does all the work" or "you just sit there." I've been riding 8 years now. And every day I sleep 8 hours during the night. Working with 3 international competitive horses, about an hour and a half each, go home. And have to sleep for about another 2 hours because I'm so tired. We just make it look easy. But in reality it's hard as heck to ride horses. We take enough judgment as it is. Just leave us alone. I run about an hour every day. Not too bad after the first 30 minutes. But the first half of it usually sucks. After that, you're just thinking that you made it this far. So better just finish. Knowing what emotion you are actually feeling. Often one masquerades as another, e.g. sadness when you're angry, or a secondary emotion follows so quickly you don't even realize, e.g. anger to shame. Many have the same physical sensations, tight throat can be sadness, fear, shame, guilt, etc. And to top it off, many people have the habit of avoidance or bottling up emotions so they manifest at random times rather than in the trigger situation, which gets confusing. Decorating, baking, e.g. cakes, cookies, it's always a fail. Teaching. And I mean teaching anything. Teaching your kid to ride a bike or a 3rd grade teacher teaching fractions. Doesn't matter who is doing the teaching, it's much harder than it looks. Anything most professionals do. A professional anything makes doing that super hard thing look easy and effortless. Riding a bike. Never really learned how, probably never will. Generally. Anything done by an expert. Playing a guitar or drums, piano, etc., while singing. Trimming a dog's toenails. I've spent 2 decades perfecting the art full time and people will just ask me, "How do you know where to cut?" I could tell you how I do it, Karen, but that doesn't mean you'll be able to do it. By the way, you could traumatize your dog permanently if you try. Just because the tool I'm using is simple doesn't mean anyone can use it effectively. FFS. I know how a piano works, but that doesn't mean I can play it. Drawing things done in simple styles, think Pokémon or gorillas. It looks easy because there aren't many shapes or lines. But the amount of design expertise that goes into then and how perfectly executed those simple shapes are as far as composition are is extremely hard to match. Teaching. Everybody thinks that since we all had teachers, we can all be teachers with no effort. I grew up in a family of teachers. I married one too. I see firsthand how much of their heart and soul they put into it. All for the sake of some of their students who couldn't give A. And some of the parents who second-guess every little thing they do. I tried it once and failed miserably. Teachers are national heroes and should be paid like it. Ice skating. But actual skating like a figure skater or hockey player, not these dudes that say, "I can skate," but can barely stand up on the ice.